it's John from Seattle Coffee Gear. I'm here with a comparison of the Fausto and Fausto Touch grinders from Rocket. The Fausto Touch is an update to the original Fausto that adds a touchscreen similar to the Faustino grinder from Rocket, if you've watched that for a bit. The Fausto grinder has been out for quite a while. It was actually one of the first grinders that I tested out when I first joined Seattle Coffee Gear, so it always holds kind of a special place in my heart as one of the first grinders that I tried out, really liked using at home, and got to know the quirks of. So the Fausto Touch has very similar specs to the original Fausto. It has those same 65mm burrs and also the same motor, and the watts of that are escaping you right now, so you can always check on our website with those product links down below. The Fausto Touch adds in a manual grind button and then also a third setting for your doses. So you have 3 programmable dose settings and then a manual run button, and then you can also adjust the time. You're still controlling the start and stop of the grind from the buttons at the top here, so it is not a portafilter activated dose to it. The original Fausto, one of my kind of gripes about it was just the way these buttons operated. So when you went to click it, you could then stop it, but then you had to press and hold to restart it. And then as soon as you went over to click to the other button, it would immediately start that other grind setting. So it just, in my experience, it made more sense to be able to click and then click again to start. But if you have this grinder for a while, you just get used to it. You can also adjust the time up and down by tenths of a second with the plus or minus keys. And then you should have the same, same lock feature as some of the Eureka grinders do, where if you hold down the plus and the minus buttons at the same time, it will lock and unlock the adjustment. Stop that from moving. So that covers all the basic features of the original Fausto. It still has that same dial adjustment here, and it is stepless. So if you're watching this trying to dial in your grinder, you're at 0 and you're freaking out because your espresso is still pulling too fast, just turn it past 0 and keep going finer. It'll keep going finer until the burrs touch, and then you can adjust this as coarse as you want until the adjustment knob actually pops off. Wouldn't suggest doing that, but you can. Jumping over to the Fausto Touch, like I was saying, you do have 3 options for grind settings. So you have a single, a double, and a triple, if you want to use it that way. You can set these buttons for whatever you want. And then you also have a manual grind button. Talking about the Fausto Touch a little bit more, you do have those 3 different grind settings, and you switch around by pressing the button to start and stop. Turn this off and turn it back on again. One of the things that I don't like about this way of selecting your grind is that if you start a grind, you cannot change away from that after you pause it. I'll show you what I mean here. Get out of sleep mode there. So I'm going to go over here to the single button. So if I start this, I can stop it, but then I cannot press anything else aside from that single button again, and the little lock logo up in the corner turns to a closed lock, meaning I can't adjust this anymore. So you kind of have to either turn it off and on like I did, or you have to just finish out your grind and, you know, hope for the best, honestly. So that's one thing I don't like about it. When I was first using this grinder, I was sitting here trying to click that lock unlock button because, you know, I'm a usual person who doesn't read the manual and just starts pressing buttons and messing stuff up. But like I was saying, if I start that single and stop it, that goes to a closed lock and I can't adjust it. So what I did is just turn off the grinder, turn it back on, and then you're right back to where you are. So not a deal breaker, but it is something I do wish they would have thought of maybe in that process. You also have some menus in here, and you can see your different shot counters, and you can see your total grind time under that manual setting. And then you have your brightness. And then you also have a few different colors. You can choose white, blue, and copper. I have it set for white for the cameras here. And then you can do a factory reset to reset those counters. and then you have your firmware, and then your back, and then they have a handy little door exit icon that I like. Very Italian to have a little door as the exit icon. But that covers the main differences between the Fausto and the Fausto Touch. It's mainly just this touch interface, which I think is a better interface than the original Fausto. And I found that the touchscreen is better than it was on the Faustino. The Faustino definitely takes some getting used to. It's not quite like a smartphone, whereas this is a little bit more of the touchscreen style that we're used to as people with cell phones in most of our pockets. So that's an upgrade, in my opinion, over the Faustino, and then especially over the original Fausto. If you're really set on that Rocket design language, you do still have the 2 color options. So it comes in black, and then it also comes in chrome. And the Fausto and Fausto Touch both have those color options. So the Fausto will, at least on our site, will be available for a little bit longer, but from what I understand, will be replaced by the Fausto Touch eventually. Last note that I was just thinking about, because I get questions about it a lot. This holds about, this is about 12 ounces of coffee in here. I've ground a little bit of coffee, but I could easily fit up to 16 ounces of coffee in there with no problem. So if you have a pound of coffee in a bag you're trying to fit in your hopper, you can do that. You could also fit it under a counter or a cabinet pretty easily. I can't remember the exact height, but again, that's on our website, so you can check that out in the links down below. If you want to see more info on these 2 grinders, we do have reviews on the Fausto going back a while, and then we also have a review on the Fausto Touch, and that was done a little bit more recently. Check these both out on our website. If you have comments or think I didn't cover something in the video or just want to know more, you can drop a comment down below, and I'll jump down there in the comments after the video goes live and try and answer any of those questions that I see. If you want to see more of our videos, please subscribe to our channel. Definitely helps us knowing that we're doing the right thing if we see our channel growing. So we appreciate that. And also like the video if you enjoyed it, because that gives us good feedback and that we're doing something right here. So we appreciate that and appreciate you making it to the end of the video. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.